Let's go ahead and start another. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll call the meeting, the September meeting, regular meeting for the Houston Land Bank to order. It is 12:07 p.m. on September 10th. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for being here. We'll go ahead and start with roll call. Chairman Zeiss, present. Director Castillo.
Present.
Director Collins. Present. Director Bionda. He's present. Director Galloway.
Present.
Thank you. Director Hall. Not present. Director Jackson. Not present. Director Johnson Rose. Not present. Director Lampley.
Present.
Thank you. Director Mondragon.
Present.
Thank you. Director Vasquez. Not present. Director Vignot. Not present. Ex officio Stoneham. Hello.
Present.
Thank you. Advisory Board Member Braun. Not present. Advisory Board Member Marquez. See him here. He's not present. Board Member Williams.
Present.
Good to see you. And Board Member Zale.
Present.
Thank you.
Not sure if I heard my name or not, but I'm present as well. Yep.
Thank you, Jesus. I got you. Okay, moving on. Item number 2, public speakers.
Matt,
Yes.
that was Mario Castillo that chimed in.
Jesus de Anda.
Oh, Jesus de Anda. Okay.
Do we have any listed public speakers?
I believe there was one registered speaker. Mary, do you have the name?
Yes, I can pull it up real quick. Give me 1 second. Sorry, just give me 1 second. I emailed it earlier this morning. I just need to pull up the email. Let's see.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
this is Vincent Marquez. I'm on.
There, Vincent. Good to see you.
So the speaker we have registered is Portia Brown from Equinox Realty Group, and she will be calling in from a 3006 number. She said she may speak or she may not, but she, I think, would like to be in attendance.
Okay.
I don't believe I see her
Yeah,
on
I've seen it, Paul.
participants.
Me neither, but I'll keep an eye on her.
All right, moving on. Items number 3, adopt the minutes from the August 13th regular meeting. Minutes providing your board. Motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt the minutes.
Thank you, Director Castillo.
Second.
Thank you, Director Galloway. Any further discussion? Changes? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
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 Motion carries. Item number 4, adopt the minutes of the August 27th policy workshop. Is there a motion?
Motion to adopt the policy workshop minutes.
Thank you, Director Castillo. Is there a second?
Of course, I'll second it so I can question.
Thank you, Director Galloway.
I have a question about
Yes.
seconding it. The motion to adopt the minutes, that's not the policy itself. Is that not correct?
It's not the policy of
Is that the policy itself by adopting the minutes?
No, ma'am. It is just the record of the meeting we had, not the minutes themselves, or not the policies themselves.
Okay, I just want to clarify. All right, dear, thank you.
You're welcome. So properly motioned by Director Castillo, seconded by Director Galloway. Any further questions or changes? Hearing none, all those in favor of adopting the minutes? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 5, Chairman's greeting. Greetings to everyone. Thank you for being here. I really just have 2 things I want to talk about. One is we've been hearing from a lot of builders and noticing in the building community about lumber prices increasing substantially in the last month or 3 weeks. I just want to make sure that our builders and our families know that we'll be working as a board and as a staff to address the problem and consider different solutions in the next few weeks and make sure that we do our best to alleviate this problem for our builders and keep home prices as low as they can possibly be for our families. I think we're going to spend a significant portion of our time in our strategic planning this afternoon talking about that, fleshing out some ideas and getting feedback and answering some questions about that. Other than that, I think October 5th is the last day to register to vote. So make sure you register to vote for the November election. That is extremely important. And that's all I have from the chairman's report. Committee reports, item number 6, Finance Committee. Director Vigna, I'll go ahead and do Director Vigna's report since she is absent today. She chaired her first Finance Committee meeting on, I believe it was Tuesday afternoon. Yeah. So the Finance Committee met them. The audit is progressing on schedule. Actually, I think a little bit ahead of schedule. There are no deficiencies found to date, and we expect there to be none found. So that is progressing nicely for the first time in years. Hats off to Gonzalo and Conchita for making that happen. Thank you, guys. And then you'll also notice in your board packet, this is the first time we've had a budget versus actual report. So our budget started in July 1st. So you'll see the July financials have a budget versus actual, which will continue month to month throughout this budget cycle. So that'd be helpful for board members to track our spending and see where we're overspending or underspending in our programs. Okay, so that includes the finance committee report. Letter B, program committee, Director Lampley.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, I have 2 items in addition. One item in addition to the proposed round 2 lot sales update. I want to just give us sort of recap a little summer activities with reviewing of lot sales over last year's time frame to date. We've had approximately 141 lots that are outstanding up until this time last year. 44 of those lots are under development. 40 have been confirmed as sold. 13 reverted back into our inventory and eligible for resales. 12 are set to be repurchased, and 5 have been repurchased. 11 confirmed as sold under foreclosures. 8 still on hold, 6 of which are in contract stage. 7 have been taken off of hold and put up for sale. 3 have legal issues that need to be addressed. And 1 as a community garden has been confirmed on one of our lots, and I think that's with Houston Habitat. And 1 of our lots have major infrastructure issues, a lack of infrastructure for accessing the property. So I just kind of want to give an update of where we are with our reviewing of all of our lots under contract, and want to really express appreciation for staff and their time and their dedication to really work through all of these nuances and to work with our builders to try to get them across the finish line as best as we can. And so just my hats off to staff and the energy and effort that they're putting into this. The other item is to give an update around 2 lot disposition initiative. What you will see on today's agenda, the 6 items for consideration for contracts that we're recommending for approval today. 5 will be recommended at our next board meeting in October. There's no issues with them. It's just that we're working through getting them prepared and all the submittals we need from them to actually get them under contract. The total projected revenue from those lot sales that's on the agenda today is $105,070. The home range price, projected sales price range from $192,000 to $212,000. In that pool consists of 8 builders. We reviewed more than, I think about 26 applications from these 8 builders, and we will be moving forward to award them at least 1 lot in this round for those who may have made applications on multiple lots. And so that concludes my report.
Thank you, Director Lampley. That was, and I agree. I echo your appreciation to staff and to yourself and to Board Member Marquez as well for doing the yeoman's work on that audit. And I know it's been a lot of hours, so thank you.
Thank you.
Oversight Committee, Director Castillo.
Thank you, Chair. The bulk of my update would be covered later with the agenda item for policies and procedures, but I do want to take this time to thank everyone who attended the policy workshop that was held a few weeks ago to dive deep into the updates that are proposed for the policies and procedures document. And also thank Anne for walking us through a really thorough presentation on where we've been and where we're trying to go with the document. Since the workshop, we've been able to add supporting documents that we think will help make some of the processes that are lined out more clear, and we hope that that's been the case. But unless there are any questions, that will conclude my report.
Thank you, Director Castillo.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, I know you have put in a lot of work on this, and it just, on your last meeting, and when I got the report, my computer crashed. I was on the phone. I wasn't able to get in for that meeting on the 27th, and I was unable to get with you on the policy, give some input. I do have a few concerns about some of the policy I read, because I ended up having to get a package because I couldn't read all that on my little phone. And so I want to thank Ann for having David to get me the complete package so I could read it. And I saw some a few things that I have some concerns with for its policy as it relates to the board. And I would love to, before we pass it, to get with you to give you some input, because some of the things that I saw, it seems it kind of touch into micromanage. And I just want to share my thoughts with you on a few things in there, if that's all possible. And could we delay it for approval?
Yes, ma'am.
So I think,
Go ahead, Director Castillo.
I was just going to suggest that any feedback is always welcomed, and when the item is up for discussion, which should be quickly on item A, that would be the time to share your thoughts and concerns.
Okay, all right, we just couldn't delay it and put it in so we won't have to be on the, tied up in the meeting for some time. I was just trying to make it so we could expedite, because I don't know how lengthy we get the discussion. That's all. But whichever way you want to work, it's okay with me.
Yes, ma'am. So I will make sure that you will have ample time to make comments and suggestions for changes. I don't anticipate approving the policies this meeting. But
Oh, okay.
I do anticipate
All right.
having a discussion about it because there are other board members, including yourself, that shared some that would like to make some changes and cross some T's and dot some I's as well. So I don't
Okay.
believe we're ready this meeting. So
Oh, okay. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you, Director Castillo. Are there any other questions for Director Castillo? Seeing none, move on to the Partnerships Committee. I will deliver the Partnerships Committee report as Director Johnson Rose is absent today. Partnerships Committee met on last Thursday evening. They are working on two grants. We coalition with the city and a nonprofit partner, and another one for EPA grant funding. This would be around phase 1 testing in some of our lots. There's also another concept that's been put to paper with a nonprofit to do some work in Gulfton, which is a complete community prioritized by the mayor's office to look at some highest and best use of land out there. Not necessarily that is currently with the land bank, but land bank will serve as a partner in that study as well. So she just wanted me to convey those two projects that they're working on, and that will conclude the report for the Partnerships Committee. Moving on to item number 7, the President's report. President Haynes, the floor is yours.
Disappeared.
She's here, she's on mute.
And I apologize, it's just going very slow on my computer. And just in case we have any technical difficulty, which I'm panic stricken about, please bear with me, I apologize. And I was going to try and do screen share for the dashboard, but it just may prove to be difficult. So I will do a verbal, very quick run through of the President's report for this meeting, unless it somehow might work. Let's see. Okay. We've had another busy month. I think August with the land or time of COVID, and I do hope everybody's families and friends are still safe and protected. But certainly work has not slowed down by any means. This is in the President's report as a dashboard, and you may have seen our newsletter. This was our first newsletter that we were able to release this past week. We got some great replies from people we actually hadn't heard from in a while, which was nice. We are still doing some technical tests to find out why it does show up in some people's spam. So if you did not receive it, you should have all received it at least on one of your emails. Please let me know and we can try and troubleshoot that. This is not uncommon with these types of mail services where, you know, inevitably everybody's service is different. But hopefully in the future, I would love to do this quarterly, be able to provide news and updates of our organization, as well as any sort of upcoming procurements or meetings and things like that. But at this month, between the two major housing programs, our home buyer, our home building initiative, as well as the new home development program, we had about 44 touches with various home buyers, through people that might be closing on a house to people that have called in to ask for resources or direction on how to apply. We did sell 3 lots. This is 3 out of the 13 that we approved in the June meeting. They closed. And we have 3 houses sold this month between the 2 programs. But we have 7 under contract, which is exciting. And we're actually down to sort of one last property, I believe, that is for sale, although we are about to receive another 5 properties from the housing department. Like last month, we cleaned about 50 plus acres of lots, and we are still working on a couple of acquisitions in the pipeline and initiating the due diligence process that would lead to our review and discussion as a board about any potential purchases on behalf of the new home development program acquisition and development agreement. We have about 74 properties under development. That includes both our own properties, which is about, I believe, 55 from the Home Building Initiative, and then the remainder is in new home development program in their pipeline that will be arriving as a finished building sometime this fall. And then I think one thing that we didn't count last month, but we're going to start counting, especially because, you know, half of the staff is working very diligently with both established and existing builders and new builders, about 29 builder touches, which includes people that attended our builder forum, but certainly builders that we've been working with for a number of years and are sort of working out some of the issues that are rising, including the lumber pricing, which has come from quite a few builders. And we certainly think that that is one of the near-term challenges. We're used to hearing things about permitting, and we're used to hearing things about other aspects of doing the work on our lots, but this particular one is pretty systemic, and we are going to be approaching that. I also wanted to just briefly mention that we've got a number of other updates within this document, and really look forward to having your feedback on the type of information that is helpful to you each month. August was a little quieter in terms of community meetings. There were quite a few complete community meetings in the last couple of months. But we anticipate both our own engagement in the community of Setagast in the next couple of months, which will also provide us with new opportunities to be better and deeper engaged in that community. So I think that is my report. I think everything else was covered in committee reports.
Thank you, President Haynes. Are there any questions from the board? I actually do have one question. You may have mentioned this already, but the number of houses that we have in current inventory from the new home development program that have yet to be sold to a home buyer, is that down to one right now, or we taking ownership?
We actually have a closing tomorrow, and I will have to go into my president's report to get the up-to-date count, but I believe we've got 7 under contract. 1 is going to close tomorrow. 2 were supposed to close last week, but haven't closed yet. And then I believe we have 1 or 2 for sale still that hasn't got it, but I would have to double check that number.
Yeah,
Anne, it's Jennifer. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
We have no homes as of yesterday.
Okay, we got a new
that
contract.
are for sale.
Yep.
We got a contract last night.
That's awesome.
So that's the last house that we have.
That's
Thank
great.
you, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Matt?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I was wondering, I heard Ann talked about Setagast, because I've been concerned about that area as well. Approximately how many lots do we have out in Setagast available, and have we done any marketing on this side of Houston, the Northeast, to let people know that we do have this property available in, we should have some in Trinity Garden too, but I know Setagast, we had quite a few properties.
Carol, just Director Galloway, I will get you the exact number and respond to all in terms of the number of properties that we have in Setagast. We have a number of properties that are eligible for being put up for sale, and some of the ones we are anticipating putting up for sale in round 3. And as well, we have over 50 properties in the undeveloped part of Setagast. And based on conversation at a couple of prior meetings, we have been looking to partner with the city, the planning department, the public works department in a planning study for that area of undeveloped, there's no infrastructure, to look at what the development options are to be able to finance the infrastructure and also sell those. And during that planning process, we are intending to engage with community groups that are there. And we've been introduced to many through our own process, through Krista Stonem's office, as well as through Habitat for Humanity and Councilmember Davis's office. So we anticipate some increased conversation in Setagast, and certainly I think the next round of lot sales, we anticipate putting lots up for sale in Setagast, but I can get you a complete count. I just don't have it on the top of my head.
Okay, yeah, that's, don't worry, baby. I know you, just whenever you have the time, it's no big hurry, okay? Thank you.
No, but it is critical. It's come up in a couple of conversations in the last month, not just doing outreach, but I know that it is a key and important neighborhood to both maintain, build new production of affordable homes and really prevent, gentrification is something that's happening everywhere, but really trying to assure affordable housing in that neighborhood is a high priority.
Right. Yeah, they have a very strong ministerial group out there in City Gas, and I'll be happy to introduce you to the head guy over that ministerial group where they can get the word out all over that area because most of the time people like this kind of stay and they have quite a few apartments as well, and they may be interested in, getting homes. So, and being aware of it. Thanks.
Absolutely. And I would just say that your favorite topic, or I shouldn't say it's your favorite topic, but at one point it was, that is the neighborhood where we're also having, I would say, our more challenges in terms of illegal dumping right after a property is maintained and debris.
I know.
It comes back. So Ron spends time driving out there and sort of having spotted quite a few dumping situations. It is something that we want to strategize about.
Yes, I don't know why the city won't put those cameras out there. I guess I'm gonna have to call my boy, the constables, and see if they got some cameras to catch these people, because I'm getting tired of them dumping. I tell you, that's a nuisance all in the Northeast. All right, thank you. Appreciate everything you do.
Just to be clear, that's like just east of Trinity Gardens area, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Director Galloway, you and I are gonna have to get together because I got some game cameras that I've used in hunting in the past that are motion activated, and then they'll record what's happening, and they're not that expensive. They're like $80. We can go out there, you and I, and set
Oh
them
yes,
up.
yes. I had when I
They're
was
camouflage
in
too,
City Hall.
so that'll help.
Yeah.
Right. When Pastor Osteen bought the city 2 cameras and for the city to catch illegal dumping in Northeast. Yeah. So they are very, we can sure get together. Thank you, love.
Okay.
All right, any other questions or comments?
And Matt, this is Curtis. I did have on the dashboard under the maintenance program where we list the acreage.
Yes.
It would be nice if we could have I guess, monthly or some time cutoff for establishing the number of properties that's actually been maintained.
Yeah, I can do that. It's we have a spreadsheet that comes out of our invoicing process, and I absolutely can get you the number of lots, the square footage. I mean, as you know, the square footage of each lot is quite a bit different. It ranges. So we didn't do the number in lots, but we're happy to do that as well. And can everyone hear me, or is just Director Lampley's?
I couldn't hear Curtis.
Yeah,
I
you're
couldn't hear. Yeah.
I barely could hear.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
It's just so quiet nature.
All right. Okay. All right. No, I just asked the question if we could include under our lot maintenance program, in addition to the acreage that has been maintained, if we could have some quantitative number that represents the number of lots that's being maintained as well.
Yeah, and it's about it's about, like, let's say 30, I want to say 25 to 30% of our lots are inaccessible. And so we will absolutely, and that's why it's 51 out of whatever 70 plus acres that we have total. But I will get the number of lots and do that as a follow-up just so that we have it for this month. And just so you know, we've now been 6 months into the new contracts, and we were hoping to do a report on the sort of 6-month process of new contractors and maintenance at the next board meeting.
Any other questions or? No. Hearing and seeing none, we'll move on. Thank you, President Haynes. Item number 8A, consideration and possible action for updates to the Houston Land Bank's policies. So this is something I know staff and some board members, many board members are working on for almost a year now. But I've heard some suggestions and concerns from other board members in the past few weeks that we're not quite there yet. And so I would look for a motion to table this item until the next meeting. We could use the next 10 minutes or so if some of the board members want to bring up some of the points that they have and discuss with the rest of the board what the changes they'd like to see.
So moved. Table.
Okay, we have a motion to table until the next meeting for Director Galloway. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Director Castillo.
Director Castillo.
Thank you. Moving to discussion on the floor, and any board member wants to chime in and talk about what they see, what they want to change, please do.
So I just wanted to chime in for a little bit here. And I want to first acknowledge staff and Director Castillo and Chairman Zeiss and all the hard work that's been done to even get us to this point. I've been a part of, and legal, I wanted to request a deferral only because I really would like for some of my colleagues here at the city to review some of the procurement policies and some of the procedures, only because I just want to be sure that we're all on the same page. You know, especially, you know, my role as the ex officio director, I'm speaking on the behalf of the city of Houston and obviously Mayor Turner, and I would like to, you know, follow his guidance, and I feel as if he would like the review of the procurement officer, and his name is Jerry Adams. And I also requested the review from our Chief Development Officer, who is Andy Icken, because of his experience of working with several local government corporations, the TERS, redevelopment authorities and such. So really, I just kind of wanted to touch bases to see what has been done in the past, what are some lessons learned, what are some maybe best practices that we could take into consideration. I'm not sure if anyone from the city was involved in previous conversations, but definitely, you know, with my role, I just want to be sure that I'm communicating with my colleagues. So I requested a deferral.
Definitely. And thank you, Krista, for bringing that up. I really appreciate it.
Matt, you know, I brought this up before. That was one of my concerns, that the policy we adopt should be in concurrence and in alignment with the City of Houston procurement policies.
Agreed.
Thank you for that. I'm definitely on board and looking into that. And just to be transparent, that's definitely not my subject matter expertise. I have experience in it, but I want to be sure that I'm bringing in the experts.
Yeah, definitely.
Man, I like to add to that is that I think we should consider creating a committee, a procurement committee. That committee would be helpful in reviewing RFQs, RFPs, statements of qualifications that have been submitted to us for review, and would also, could also be armed with making sure that we're in compliance with the city's MWBE program as well, and all of our activities and involvement with letting of contracts, and to make sure that we are sensitive to that and we're adhering to it to the best of our abilities.
Good points.
Can I ask a question?
I think some of the other nuances will get worked out with that.
Okay.
Sure, you want to ask a question of me or in general?
I just wanted to know, just quickly, by the MWBE, are you suggesting that we somehow incorporate the intent of that, or are you specifically recommending that we take that into consideration in terms of that? I mean, the subcontractors?
Sure, as all of our procurement is reviewed by different city departments, I think that our goals, the city's goals with its MWBE program, we ought to try to adhere to those goals as best as we can. And if not, then, you know, we will know why we can't because of some unique circumstances or sole source type awards. But I definitely think that we should be sensitive to it. And I think we should be right in step with it.
Or exceed it.
or exceed it. Yes.
The operative answer is that we should comply with the city MBE ordinance.
I believe we have that in our bylaws as well.
Yes.
Okay.
And then that committee could help track and monitor and give updates on our progress.
Curtis, I think when you go away from your microphone, you fade out.
Sorry.
And I do apologize with my video off. I want to preserve bandwidth because I'm sensing there's a big sort of pull on bandwidth. So just please forgive me for being off video.
It's all the kids in school. I think those are both very good points, and I do. I think a procurement committee is appropriate, as is an acquisition committee that we currently have in the executive committee that may need to be expanded or changed in the future to make sure that the board members are fully up to date on what we're acquiring and why and what the process is there. So. Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to add a comment.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that everybody's feedback is welcomed, and I think we're going to get a stronger document because of it. So the next month will be used to take all of the suggestions and produce something that's really thorough and that we can all feel comfortable supporting. And especially around the procurement side, I know that when we put this together, we used Houston First as an example. So there should be a lot of alignment there. And when we dig into the procurement policies, we see that there isn't, that's definitely a flag that we want to correct because we wanted to align ourselves with another local LGC. So we'll use the next month. Don't hesitate to reach out with any other suggestions or feedback. We want everybody's opinion to be heard, and look forward to producing something that we can vote on next month.
Good. Is there any other question? If not, I call a question.
I have one question, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Only, and this is the part of maybe I'm a little bit struggling with, is the difference between a policy and a procedure, right? Because I know that, to me, I'm thinking procedure is literally outlining, the timeline of how long an RFP can be posted, what's the response time, et cetera, et cetera. So I know that probably requires more discussion offline, and that's fine. But I just wanted to clarify. Sometimes, I'm not really sure where the line is of how far we're going between a procedure and a policy. And I think that's also part of where we can continue the conversation offline.
Okay.
Yes, you're correct on that because a policy is a policy but the procedure or is the steps that it takes for the policy. So it's really two separate ones. So we are more concerned with the policy and the office carry out the procedure from the board of the policy.
Correct.
Thank you.
All right. Director Collins has called the question. Seeing there are no more questions in the queue, we'll go ahead and call the vote. So the motion has been made to table the item until the next meeting by Director Galloway. And secondly, Director Castillo. All those in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries to table the item until the next meeting. Okay, moving on, item number 8B, consideration of possible action to accept program committee and staff builder lot selection recommendations for the HLB housing initiative. We have 6 properties that are on the queue in your board packet. Gracie, do I have to read them all? You're on mute.
I was on mute. This is a recording. We might want to do that.
Okay,
just
I will read them.
Facilitate everything being recorded and picked up.
Okay. So. Should we have the motion first and then I read what the motion is? Or should I read them? Okay. So is there a motion to approve?
I'd like to move for approval of the lots. The program committee has reviewed the applications and recommend approval of the 6 items on today's agenda.
Thank you, Director Lampley. Is there a second?
Second, Galloway.
Thank you, Director Galloway. So the motion on the table is to approve items 8A, 1 through 6. Items 8B, 1 through 6. Item 1 is 3304 Brill, HCAD number 0701060010003, with a proposed purchase price of $19,136. $136. The proposed buyer is the Houston Area Urban Community Development Corporation. Item number 2 is 4019 Jewel, HCAD number 0701040020005 for $18,176 by the Fifth Ward Community Redevelopment Corporation. Item number 3 is 7212 El Paso, HCAD number 018159000007 for $22,500 by the Fifth Ward Community Redevelopment Corporation. Item number 4 is 6721 Bethune, HCAD number 0781250060174 for $16,400 by SXG Capital Group. Item number 5 is 6825 Hoffman, HCAD number 0660250070833 for $12,750 by Blue Starfish Construction. And item number 6 is 0 Shotwell, HCAD number 0660250020719 for $16,108 by MHL Properties. Motion has been properly made by Director Lampley and seconded by Director Galloway. Is there any further discussion?
Did you Hoffman?
I did Hoffman.
Okay, good.
Don't make me second guess myself.
No, I'm just checking.
Thank you. Hearing no other discussion, no other questions. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. And that completes our agenda. Oh, sorry, we have item number 10, board member comments.
No comment.
I do have one comment. First of all, today is opening day for the Houston Texans, a very exciting day for me, and I'm sure a lot of folks in this city.
I love it. I love it. Come on.
But so my comment is more so around a particular player on the team, Deshaun Watson. He published a book on Tuesday called Pass It On, and it's a great book. It talks about his life and all. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it already, but one thing that he highlighted is his Deshaun Watson Foundation, which was launched October of 2019. And the cornerstone cause for the Deshaun Watson Foundation is housing. So I thought that would be worthwhile to bring forth to the board. Deshaun grew up in government housing and then eventually was able to move into a Habitat for Humanity home. So, low income housing and housing for the underserved is a cause near and dear to his heart. And with with his foundation being relatively new, I think it would be advantageous for us to align ourselves with them however we can. I really don't have any sort of grand plan for this. I was just nor do I have any personal friends that are closely tied to Deshaun, but I'm personally gonna begin to see who I know that knows someone that is associated with that foundation to see if there's any synergies there between the work that we do here at the Land Bank and the work that they aspire to do in this community. So just wanted to put that out there to the board and share that thought with you guys, and that's what I have. Go Texans.
That was great. And I assume you are a Texan, huh?
Absolutely.
Texan fan. All right. Good enough.
That's very interesting.
It's a great idea.
So I just put in a chat an article that came out around the time when he announced the foundation, we actually reached out to them to see kind of what are you aligned with, because I believe at the time they were working with Provision and Sunnyside. I don't remember who we talked to. I have to go back in my notes. But make a long story short, I think it's a great idea. More than willing to participate. Not sure how, but I don't know. Is that a partnership committee conversation?
Mhm.
Okay.
Sounds good.
That would be. No, thank you, Victor. That's a great idea, and Krista too. We'll definitely follow up on that as well, and we're checking our networks to see what kind of connections we have there. So, thank you.
Yeah, I think we can be a little more direct. I think Director Collins knows him personally, hangs out with him.
You full of it too.
I would just like to add, in addition to the Texans, our beloved Houston Rockets are also playing this afternoon, Matt, and I think it's an early game. I'll be tuning in to both the strategic planning and the Rockets. I'll be multitasking.
Okay? I understand. I appreciate that. Just keep us updated.
All right.
You'll be our liaison. How about that?
That'll work.
Love it.
Okay. Seeing no other comments, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Don't move.
I just wanted to wish Director Galloway a happy birthday tomorrow and really enjoy the big day.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Oh,
Hey.
thanks so much.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy birthday, council member.
Thank
Happy
all of
birthday.
you guys.
So I believe we had a motion to adjourn by Director Castillo,
I'll second that.
second by Director Mondragon. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Bye.
We are adjourned.
Bye.
Thank you,
Okay.
everyone.